For a very long time, money in India moved slowly, cautiously, and in cash. It passed from hand to hand, from pocket to pocket, from employer to employee, from the government to citizens, often losing value, time, and trust along the way. Banking was a distant dream for many Indians. A building in town, a form in English, a minimum balance they couldn't maintain, a system that didn't feel right for them. This changed when PM Modi launched Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in 2014.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money,
Dollar, 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 dollar.
The scheme was launched with a very simple promise. Every household, every adult would have a place in the formal financial system. Zero balance accounts, basic banking access, a debit card, insurance cover, and a direct line to government support. Over the years, those accounts quietly multiplied, person by person, village by village, ward by ward, not overnight. Women opened accounts in their own names. Daily wage workers received wages without middlemen. Pensioners stopped waiting for cash days. Subsidies began landing directly without leakage. Today, that quiet expansions have brought over 55 crore Jan Dhan beneficiaries into the banking system. And for the first time, money began arriving without negotiation. And that shift changed behavior. Because once money starts arriving directly into a bank account, people begin to treat that account as something real. They check balances, start keeping small savings, and swipe a card once in a while. And slowly, the idea that banking is only for the wealthy begins to crack. This is where the digital layer enters. By the time smartphones became common even in small towns, the base had already been laid. Bank accounts existed, Aadhaar was linked, mobile numbers were seeded. The Jan Trinity wasn't a theory anymore. It was already functioning on the ground. Connectivity followed too, with over 2.14 lakh Gram Panchayats connected through BharatNet, bringing the internet closer to homes that had never imagined using it for payments. So when Unified Payments Interface, that is UPI, arrived in 2016, built by the National Payments Corporation of India, it didn't have to convince people to trust banks from scratch. It only had to make transactions easier than cash. And it did, almost accidentally. A vegetable seller didn't need a card machine. A customer didn't need change. A shopkeeper didn't need to close accounts at night. Payments became instant, traceable, and reversible. Small amounts moved as easily as large ones, and over time, even easier. What really made UPI take off wasn't its technical brilliance or the complexity behind the system, even though all of that existed quietly in the background. It grew because it made everyday transactions feel easier and less stressful, removing the small but constant frictions that people had simply learned to live with for decades. And Jan Dhan became crucial in this journey because it quietly ensured that when someone stood in front of a QR code at a tea stall, a kirana shop, or a bus stop, there was already a real bank account waiting on the other side, ready to receive that money without confusion, intermediaries, or fear of it disappearing. The scale of this transformation is now impossible to miss, because by December 2025 alone, UPI was handling nearly 21.6 billion transactions in a single month, the highest ever recorded, and since the day it began, it has quietly moved close to 756 lakh crore rupees across the country. Not through a handful of large institutional transfers, but through countless ordinary moments of daily life where people paid for a meal, received a wage, settled a fare, sent money home, or cleared a bill without standing in line or waiting for permission. The deeper shift, though, is not technical at all. It is psychological. Cash once felt safer because it could be seen and held, while digital felt abstract and uncertain, but over time, that instinct has reversed. Today, digital feels safer because it leaves a trail, because payments can be tracked, reversed, and explained. Records start to feel empowering, credit stops feeling impossible, and formality, which once felt intimidating, begins to feel useful. This is why the digital payment surge in India cannot be separated from Jan Dhan. One created access while the other created velocity. And together, under a leadership that chose inclusion before innovation, they quietly changed expectations about who the financial system is meant to serve. And as India moves into 2026 and beyond, with credit on UPI, offline payments, international linkages, and deeper merchant adoption taking shape, the story still traces back to that first step taken in 2014. Because no matter how advanced the payment trail becomes, it still depends on one simple moment, someone, somewhere, opening their first bank account and realizing that the system finally sees them. This is the quiet revolution behind the numbers.